Hello friends, welcome back to a new video. So in this short session, what I wish to talk to you about is how India itself is a mini world. The reason for me doing this video is the recent incident of an American tourist being arrested at the Sentinelese Island at the Andamans. Maybe an year or two before, maybe more than that, there was one US tourist who got killed, a Christian missionary who came there to propagate his religion was unfortunately killed by the Sentinelese Islanders. So Sentinelese group is one of the most untouched tribal groups in the world. They are still living in a kind of a Neolithic Iron Age, and Indian government has actually put a buffer around that particular island, and outsiders are not even hardly government officials also visit them. They have been kept aloof like that. So the reason why I am doing this video is just to make you understand the tribal diversity of India. At the beginning of the video itself, I told that India itself is a mini world because all the tribal, ethnic, language groups you see everywhere around the India, you can see a microcosm of it here. I will explain it how, and finally I will come into this Andaman and Nicobar group of islands where the Sentinelese are there. So if you look into the language groups, you have Indo-European languages, okay, then you have the Dravidian language group, then you can find the Austro-Asiatic language group. So even if you find everywhere in the world, you mostly find languages from these respective language groups. For example, from the Indo-European, you have the Sanskrit, its premature form of Prakrit was also there. Then you have the Dardic language group that we see in the Kashmir region. You have the Persian that is there in the Iranian region, and of course the Nuristani languages that has been spoken by many Afghan tribes. And if you look into the Dravidian group of languages, you have the southernmost branch which has Tamil, Malayalam and Kannada. Then you have the south central branch where you find Telugu as well as Gondi. Although Telugu and Kannada by script wise they look similar, but in actual sense they are not that similar. Telugu is more closer to its south central branch, that's the Gondi language. Then if you look little bit northern, you have branches like the Kolami tribes of Maharashtra. They also speak a Dravidian form of language, from the Dravidian branch. And even if you move further north, you'll be very interesting to know that there is a language of Dravidian family in the Pakistan-Afghanistan, the border. There is a language called Brahui. That language is actually Dravidian language. If you can see, go into the YouTube and search for certain Brahui songs, it very well resembles Telugu, Kannada, even Tamil. So those kinds of even it is much closer to those languages by at least around 36%. Okay, so that's why you have such languages there, and there are even languages called Kuruk in the Chota Nagpur Plateau. The tribes, certain tribes in the Chota Nagpur Plateau do it. So even when it comes to the oldest, accordingly it is the Brahui, but you have such a variety of languages. That's why I am telling, whenever you think about Dravidian languages, you may think about only Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada and all, but that's not actually the case. Okay, and if you look into much older ethnic language groups than Dravidian, that is the Austro-Asiatic groups, you have the Mundas of Chota Nagpur Plateau. A very good example is there. Then you have the Khasi tribes. They are the Mon Khmer people. They are basically migrated from the Cambodia. So you can see such older language groups are there. Even the Thai groups, the home kings in India, they were basically Thais. There is even a tribe called Thai Khamti there in Arunachal Pradesh. And there are many Sino-Tibetan tribes. See, the tribes of Arunachal, even the Garo tribes of Meghalaya, they are from the Sino-Tibetan family. The similar tribes from the Sino-Tibetan family are also there in Nagaland and in the Lushai Hills, that is Mizoram. So what I wanted to tell is, this is why India itself is called a microcosm of the world. And along with all these things, then we would have left out something, that is the Negrito and the other Mongoloid tribes. That is what you find in the Andaman and Nicobar. You have the Andamanese, Nicobaris, Jarawa, Onke, Shompen, and you have the Sentinelese group. So there mostly you find the Negrito tribes, you find the semi-Mongoloid tribes, that is similar to the Malay race of Malaysia, and you have the Mongoloid race as well. But among all of these things, the Sentinelese are still not much close to the mainstream, because in 19th century, when the Britishers first arrived for expedition, they took a few Sentinelese out, and then after some time a few of them died because of outside exposure, because they are not, since they are uncontacted, many of the like diseases that may affect the people from the outside, that may not affect people from the outside, may prove fatal towards for the islanders. So long story short, when the group returned there in the island, what they found out was, okay, a couple of them died, and they had a kind of a hostile treatment, and they were sent back. So usually stories would have spread from generation to generation, making a feel that outsiders means danger. So that's the one reason why they were very much hostile to the outside. Even during the time of the tsunami, when Indian government tried to help them, the helicopters were greeted with arrows. But arrows had iron heads. The reason why it being having some iron heads is because by 1980s there was an Ecuador ship that was somehow caught in a storm and got into there. So finally they could find some iron deposits from that. So the reason being them being left alone like that is because they are like live anthropological specimens, right? It's our luck, or it's our good thing that we can identify, we can see that the things that we have learned in our books, the Iron Age, Neolithic Age, all those things, we can still see people living like that because of their geographical isolation. So unless and until they make a conscious effort, they have made certain conscious effort in 1992 and all, but unless and until they make a conscious effort, it is better to leave them alone. So there is no point in trying to culturalize them or modernize them in a way we want. Let it happen slowly, and let it happen in a way that they want. So that is what the philosophy of many tribal anthropologists like Verrier Elvin, where he has said it in his book called Philosophy for Nefa, where I have done a video. But here also what I wish to emphasize is that only, when it comes to the tribal people, we don't need to force anything on them. We do not need to try to impose our things and modernize them. Let that inner will happen from their own community itself, and we have to provide them a helping hand then. Okay, thank you for listening to this video. I'll come up with another video. Please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.